Okay, welcome everyone to Raising Eagles today. We are so happy to have you here with us. This is brought to you by Community Services, where we hope that we can connect you with the resources that you need, that we can engage with one another so that we can all grow together to support our kids. My name is Ashley Croston. I'm Director of Community Services here in Allen. And with us on this panel is Christy Alexander, and she's our Family and Community Engagement Liaison. I'm sure you guys have received emails from her in the past. And we also have Becky Wigington. She's our Director of Counseling, and we really collaborate really well with one another to figure out what sessions are we going to offer that are relevant to the needs of our community. And we really count on you to tell us what you need as well. Upcoming Raising Eagles sessions on the horizon are navigating school and peer relationships next Tuesday, February 10th, with one of our elementary school counselors who is sure to grab your attention and take you for a ride. He is one of the funniest guys we have here in the district, and he's really great at what he does. So he's going to talk to us about peer dynamics and how we can all work together to support our kids with making those friendships and dealing with the anxieties that sometimes come from those and how to work through those in the best way possible. And then we're going to also hear from Carrie Lockhart on February 12th at noon. And she's going to talk to us about gifted after high school. What can that look like? She's coordinator of the Advanced Academics Department. And so she's going to guide us through that. And then we have a couple more, one more at the end of February, and then we have some in March that are coming up that we'll have on our website as well. And you should have also seen that in the Raising Eagles newsletter that came out yesterday. Don't forget that if you are interested in completing some liftoff tasks, which is just taking what you've learned today, just one step above and beyond, to apply that and think about how you're going to take your new learning and, like I said, put it into use it in your day-to-day life. So if you learned something today from Miss Erin Chambers and you're like, oh, I really want to try that, you can reflect on that in our little liftoff tasks section. And if you've done that 4 or more times throughout the school year, you'll be invited to our end of year Raising Eagles party, where we will celebrate you for the accomplishments for the school year. And I'm going to stop talking now because we are here to listen and hear from Erin Chambers. She's our coordinator for special services here in Allen ISD. And she's going to tell us how we can help our kids build responsibility and independence at each different age level. And so welcome, Erin. We're so happy to have you. She's actually joining us from a conference. So tell us about you, Erin. We're ready to hear from you.
Yay. Well, thank you guys for having me. Yes, I am at a special education leadership conference here in Austin and was excited to be able to finish a session and then come be able to hang out with you guys. And, you know, with being out of town right now with my 2 kids at home, there is a lot of the responsibility that we've been talking about, okay, you got to help this, you got to help dad, you got to prep this. So I get to live it at home. It's been fantastic. So I am going to go ahead. Sorry, I put my glasses on. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen with you guys. All right. Can you guys see everything okay?
Can you click present so we can see full screen?
I did.
There you go. Perfect.
Oh, it worked? Okay, good. All right, so we're going to sit here today and we're going to be able to talk a little bit about building responsibility and independence in the home, and everything that we do at home reflects here in the schools. And so we're going to talk about what that looks like at different ages from, I know it says K-6, we did a little bit of early childhood, a little bit into middle school and high school, because you may have kiddos that extend into those age brackets as well. So a little bit about me. So I am one of our special services coordinators here in Allen. I am our coordinator of least restrictive environment. And I have a husband who teaches physics in another district. And then I have 2 boys. I have a 5th grader and a 4.5-year-old. So next year it will be going into middle school and kindergarten. So we'll have a big transition at our house next year. This is my 16th year here in Allen, and I started out as an early childhood special education teacher and was then a behavior specialist for the district and supported at all of our campuses across the district. And most recently have been a support for our special education students and really support our kiddos with autism across the district. So I get to live at our Anderson Early Childhood campus quite a bit with all of our early childhood special education, but still get the privilege of going to almost all of our campuses in the district. So that's a huge blessing in my job. And it's been fun seeing Allen, grow for the past 16 years. All right. So our goals for today, our goal is that we're going to learn practical, age-appropriate strategies that we can instill responsibility and build confidence in our kiddos at home. And as parents, learning how we can instill that and how we can teach and model and grow our kiddos to help them, but also then help you in taking some of that pressure off of you of what you're having to do with your kiddos as well. So we're going to look at what that looks like at different age groups. We're going to learn simple, realistic strategies that you can use at home starting today. And then discover how to model and support your child without doing the tasks for them. As a parent, that's a huge, hard piece of that. So we're going to talk about that one too. So the first part of this is really, how do we build confidence in our kiddos? And confidence grows when children feel capable, and getting out of the mindset of, I can't do it, or I don't know how to do it, I won't do it, it's too overwhelming. How can we break it down so they can feel successful and we can build the confidence in them so that they can continue to grow? Responsibility helps our kids feel valued and trusted and part of the team, part of that family unit. In the classroom, we are a little family, right? And so we have to build responsibility in our kiddos at school. And when you guys help us at home, that collaboration is a huge piece of success for our kiddos. It's not something that's a big, all of a sudden, total flip. Small daily opportunities are going to create lifelong skills. What you don't want to do is change it where, okay, now your kiddo has to do all of these things. You have to do 15 things where you were doing 0. That's overwhelming. That's overwhelming for a parent and for a kiddo, no matter what the age. And so small little things that we're slowly going to build on over the years. To create independence, we first need to learn how. How do you do the task? We teach our kids math, right? We teach our kids, if we're working on multiplication, we have to make sure you have all those prerequisites. Do you know how to count your numbers? Do you know how to group them together? I have to teach. If you don't know how to tie your shoes, I have to teach individual little steps to it. I'm not just going to give you your laces and say, good job, have fun, because then you're tying them constantly, or your child's teacher or PE teacher are constantly tying them. But we need to learn how we do the different tasks. How do we do that? We break it into small little steps. A big task can feel overwhelming. As a parent, we have lots of big tasks that sometimes we get flustered and we're like, this is too much. So then you have to sit back as the adult and say, okay, what chunk of this can I take over? What piece of this can I start with to then be able to complete that task? So it's the same for our kiddos. First, we have to model the task with them. We have to show them what that looks like. So if we are working on, let's say, vacuuming, we want to work on vacuuming the living room or vacuuming their bedroom. That's one of the first tasks we really are like, okay, this is something you can take over. I'm not just going to hand you the vacuum and say, okay, go do this, bye. You're going to see an increase in behavior. You're going to see an increase in frustration, or we're just not going to do it at all. So we first have to model it. I do, you do, we do, just like we teach in schools, we do that same thing at home. So we're going to model the task. I'm going to go upstairs with you and we're going to vacuum their bedroom together. I'm going to teach you how to plug it in. I'm going to teach you how to turn it on. I'm going to teach you that you have to leave the bristles on the carpet floor, right? We're going to do it together, and then we're going to gradually step that up to where they take over more of that task that we're teaching them. If we're working on your shoes, you don't just give your kiddo your shoes when they're little, right? You have to teach them, this one goes on this foot. We're not even right and left yet. Just this one goes on this foot. First you sit down, pull open the tongue, put your foot in, pull the tongue up, pull it over. If you take one task, there are so many little steps that it takes to complete that we don't think about it sometimes. If we tell our kiddos, hey, go brush your teeth. Okay, well, first I need to go to the restroom. First, I need to get out my toothbrush. I need to find the toothpaste. I need to put water on my toothbrush. I need to put a certain amount of toothpaste on my toothbrush. I need to actually brush my teeth in these different. You guys get what I'm saying? There's lots of little steps to one task that we're asking our kids to do. Another thing that we have to work on with our kiddos in the home is offering choices. By offering choices, it builds decision-making skills for your kiddos for that long term. It reduces the power struggle, which we'll get into a little bit more, and it increases the buy-in from your kids. One of the things we like to say is, okay, would you like to clean up now or after this song? Do you want to wear the red shirt or the blue shirt? It's 20 degrees outside. Hey, are you going to wear pants or a sweatshirt? If you have a kiddo that likes to wear shorts and t-shirts all the time. When it's 20 degrees, pants or a sweatshirt? You have to do one. I am okay with either choice, but you need to pick one. We call that a fail-safe choice. In school, that might look like, hey, would you like to sit in the red chair or the blue chair? Would you like to use a pencil or would you like to use a marker? Do you want to do the evens or the odds first? We're going to do one or the other. I'm okay with either choice. I am in control of what those choices are. Your child is in control of which choice they make. Where it goes into that reducing a power struggle. When you're asking someone to do something they may not want to do, or something that's hard, something that's new, we can sometimes put up our fight or flight, where it's too much, it's too hard, I can't do it. And then I'm going to get in a power struggle with you. No one wins in a power struggle. If you're both pulling on that rope, no one wins. There's going to be some breakdown in both of you. And so by offering choices like this, it eliminates that power struggle and allows teaching to actually happen. So offering choices is, as a teacher and as a mom, that is my back pocket, quick, easy thing that I put out. If my pre-Ker doesn't want to wear, the shirt he's supposed to wear for a family picture or something like that, hey, do you want to put your shirt on before we get in the car? Giving those different choices helps your kiddos to have that buy-in, but we're still going to do the task that's in front of us. So my age. If I ever have a parent that I'm working with or a teacher or even a student, I can't do that. Or my kid's not old enough to do that yet. There's always a way we can include them to their level. So if we are working on bedtime routine, have some independence in that, no matter what I'm doing. So if we're working on bedtime, they might be the ones to, as soon as I help them undress, they're putting their, as we get into pre-K and kindergarten, okay, you're undressing yourself. You're putting your clothes in the hamper. I'm picking out your jammies. You're the one putting them on. So all these different tasks that we need our kids to do start at that really early age. What can I help them participate in? It's finished. Put in. Putting the clothes in the laundry basket. Throwing away their trash. Helping to wipe up a spill. Could the spill hurt? Yes, especially depending on what they're wiping it up with. But that's how I'm going to teach them, right? Oh, hey, let's not use a tissue. Let's go find a towel. Let's go find a paper towel, and then we help clean it. But it's coaching them and teaching them through those different things. Helping them carry in light items from the car, putting their shoes in a designated spot, them helping you wash during bath time. It's faster for us as parents to do it. 100% get that. And there are times where you will do it because I got to be at school in like 5 minutes. I got to put your shoes on. We got to go. But if we never teach the skill, I'm going to be doing that for the next 10 years. I have to teach the skill for my kiddos to learn it and understand. So as I am teaching those skills, you saw here like the 2 to 3 year old age, there's a space to put your shoes. Okay, as we get older, well, now we're gonna have somewhere we put our backpack and our shoes. And it might be that if your kiddo takes a lunch to school, they also take their own lunch out of their backpack. They put it on the counter every day. Or if they have to bring a water bottle or a snack to school, that's part of their job. Okay, let's do our 3 things: snack, water, folder. They have to put their water bottle in their backpack. They pick out a snack that you've made the choices of what they're allowed to have. And they have to put their folder in their backpack. That directly ties to what they're going to be doing in a pre-K or kindergarten or first grade classroom. That entrance routine in a classroom and building that independence in a classroom is what you will see a lot of our early childhood and kinder and first grade teachers working on to build that independence. If I can replicate that at home, number one, I'm organizing my space so stuff's not everywhere. So it's 7 a.m. when we got to go, I'm not hunting for shoes and snacks and all of these different things. And my brain is at a more calm state. Here's some other ideas of what they can participate in. I'm curious, those of you who have, your younger kids, elementary age kiddos, what are some current things that you already have your kiddo working on? I know we have our chat. If you want to put some things in the chat right now that you have your kiddo already helping with or participating with. Another thing in the chat I would love for you guys to put in, because we'll have some time at the end, are there things you're asking your kids to do that you are getting a giant wall, or you're getting into a huge power struggle day asking your kiddo to do it? If you have those and you're kind of thinking about those, drop those in the chat. And at the end, when we have our Q&A, maybe we can break down and look at what some of our before skills, our prerequisite skills are that we need to teach to get to that. Elementary, your kids can do it. Making their bed, loading and unloading the dishwasher, take out the trash. You're building life skills in your kids. We're not always going to be here. And as our kids get older, if you have a middle schooler, high schooler, I know that I've got some friends who have kids going out to college. And the first thing we talk about is, can they do their laundry? Because otherwise, when they leave your house, either they're bringing their laundry home, don't do it, or they're asking you what they're eating. And we can't live on ramen. I'm so sorry. We can't live on ramen noodles. So having them put the groceries away, having them sweep or vacuum. How many of your little ones love Windex and they can clean the windows because they think that's fun? And having them do that. In school, we have them cleaning their own tables. We have them cleaning up their own area. Okay, let's pick up the trash off the floor. This is our community at school. This is our place. Just like your home is your place. And we're all responsible as a family to maintain that together. It's not mom's job, dad's job, older siblings' job. It's a family community job in order to take care of ourselves and our home. All right, we got to go into middle school and high school. I know this was younger. We're going to extend it out though. If you can see a trend here though, we started these things when they were itty bitty and we're slowly adding things on. We're slowly increasing what their tasks are. The reason we're slowly increasing it is to not build that frustration, to not build that immediate shutdown. Because if I just say to my second grader, go make your bed, I might be telling them that for 20 minutes because they're constantly rotating, asking me questions, or they're constantly avoiding it. How can I break the skill down to help them feel more confident? So if we're making the bed, I may help them pull the cover up. I may help them tuck it in. They've got to put their pillows and their stuffy or their blanket on the front. And then next time I'm going to step back, they're going to pull the cover up, and then things like that. So we break it down from what we have are asking them to do. Walking and feeding the pets, packing their own lunch, managing their school items. That's something that even in middle school, teachers are coaching our kids on. Are you updating your agenda? Where's your binder? Where's that work you had to turn in? How many of you guys open your kids' backpacks and there's just paper shoved in the bottom? Helping teach them how to manage their activities. What that's going to do then, as you, the adult, I have to manage, number one, some of your kids' activities, right? My shopping list. we make task lists for ourselves all the time. If I go to the grocery store without my list, number one, I'm forgetting something I needed, and I'm probably buying more than I needed to as well. But teaching those life skills are things that are going to continue with our kids up through adulthood. And then high school, managing your laundry start to finish. What does that look like? Teach them how to cook simple meals independently, how to clean a full bathroom, not wipe it off with a tissue, right? Here's the correct products you use on this. My fifth grader, I love him to death. He was cleaning the counter with a Clorox wipe, which we had talked about. And we cleaned the mirrors and the windows with Windex, but he didn't have it up there. So I see him standing on the counter cleaning the mirror with a Clorox wipe. And I was like, hey, thank you so much for realizing the mirror needed to be cleaned. Come step back here with me. And he could see like all the streaks everywhere. And I was like, ooh, something doesn't look right. And he was like, well, I cleaned it with this. I'm like, I love that you cleaned it. But what else? What type of cleaner did we need to use on that? And then he remembered, and I was like, yes, perfect. Could I have gone up there and sprayed it and cleaned it myself? Yeah. Would it maybe have been quicker? Probably. But I wasn't teaching a skill. So when you are looking at these things, that's what I need you guys to think about is, what am I teaching? What am I modeling in order for my kids to learn that skill? If you had a teacher that just said, okay, here is The Great Gatsby. No, they're not going to learn that. We have to break it down into chunks, right? Here's the different chapters. Here's the different questions we're asking. So you got to break those little skills down. All right. This is where it's hard as a parent. Let them try. And it is okay to struggle and fail. It takes more time on your part. And so being purposeful, I am not saying do this every day. And please don't start this at 7 a.m. on a Monday morning. That's going to cause stress and tears for everyone involved. You're going to pick one or two things that you want to start with, and you slowly build that up. And again, we're going to model it first. We're going to have them do a little piece of it, but it's resisting that urge to fix it immediately. We learn through fail. We learn through failure. A lot of times in schools, you'll see our posters that says fail first. We learn, that's how we have those experiences to take from. They're learning opportunities, and effort matters more than the outcome. So if I do have my pre-Ker that is cleaning up a spill of milk on the floor, yeah, it's going to take more time than it would than I would take. But I'm teaching a skill in that moment. Now, if we have company over, is that the time that I'm going to teach that skill? Absolutely not. I don't need grandma and grandpa slipping on said milk and it tracking through the house. But then it might be something over the weekend that then we do try that and say, oh my gosh, I spilled. Can you clean this up? And we teach the skill. One of the things too, when we are teaching and coaching, we want to use what we call behavior specific praise, or just a lot of encouragement with our kids. Instead of saying, good job. Okay, good job what? Good job having your shoes on, good job cleaning we don't know. If I want to praise them for something, I need to tell them what I am praising them for, or what the specific thing was I liked, the expected behavior I liked, because I'm more likely to then see that again. So if I said, hey, good job, buddy, it's very different than saying, hey, good job putting your plate in the trash and your plastic cup in the sink. I like how you put that away the first time that I absolutely play your switch. Does not matter what age, 2, 4, 15, 20, 40, it works. Spouses, coworkers, hey, first I need to do this, and then I can absolutely help you with that. Hey, first, can you do this for me? And then we can do that. That first then helps to understand what's coming next. All right. We use routines to build responsibility and expectations. Consistency helps kids know what is expected. Morning and bedtime routines, simple daily jobs, visual schedules or checklists. When I say visual schedules, a lot of people think when you see those images where you see here on the right. A visual schedule can also be what you see on the left side of the screen. Visual just means something you see. It doesn't mean an image. For our younger kiddos, it needs to be an image. If we don't have our reading skills yet, then that image is what our kids need to understand. I may not be able to read, get dressed, but I can understand the image, seeing the clothing. I may not understand how to read, brush my teeth, but I understand the toothbrush. So that's where you see those visuals and how to break that down. For my older kiddos that they can read, they're ready for a checklist. As adults, we have checklists all the time. I know what I need to do in the mornings. I have my checklist of what I need to do when I get to work. It is a visual schedule for you as well. This is what it looks like for your kids when they're younger, and then how to break it down, each of those skills. Now, for some of our kiddos, each of these skills will need to be broken down, depending on the age of your kiddo, depending on their different abilities. Coming from the special education world, I work a lot of times with middle schoolers and high schoolers that we break down every step of brushing teeth, every step of washing hands. We do that with any age of our kiddos. If you're working on driving with your kiddo, you're not just going to put them behind the wheel. You're going to do step-by-step things. You may have a checklist of what you do before you even, put the car in reverse. Those checklists help us remember in a visual way of thinking. So here are two different examples as well that we've used with different students of different ages of what does it look like to make your bed? When my bed is messy, I need to make it. First, I take off the blanket. I pull up and smooth out my sheets. I pull up and flatten. It breaks down every little step. Are they going to need this forever? No. But as I'm teaching each step, and then I fade away my prompting of what I'm doing. What does it look like to vacuum the carpet? Well, first things first, you got to go get the vacuum. You have to unwrap the cord, right? And you have to plug it in and you have to turn the power on. Even if it's a cordless, there's other parts you have to do. I have to lift it out of the charger base, different things like that. But if you think of a task, this is an idea. It's called a task analysis, where you break down each little step of it. The first time I'm teaching a skill, I may do, we call it forward chaining and backwards chaining, meaning I'm going to have you do the first step or the last step. So if we're vacuuming, I may just have you unplug and put the vacuum away. That's the first time we're going to do it together. I'm going to model everything else for you. And then I'm slowly going to add one step at a time. Every child is different. You guys know your kiddo the best of anybody, and you're going to know which of these steps they're able to do. You might have a kiddo that loves to push the vacuum. Okay, so I'm going to do the beginning and the end, and they're going to do the middle. It's knowing your kiddo and where that ability is, and what that next step is. But these are some ideas just to see visually how to break down a skill. All right. How does this impact school? I know I've kind of talked a little bit about it. When children practice responsibility at home, it carries directly into the classroom. It carries directly into them following routines and making choices and trying tasks independently, handling mistakes with support, asking for help if they need it. All of these things that you do at home directly impact us here at school. And hopefully as teachers, what we're doing here at school will also directly impact you guys at home. At school, this helps them transition more smoothly between activities. We're changing activities a ton in schools. In elementary, you'll hear all these different directions. You hear how they have to do their independent rotations. In pre-K, they have to check the board of what center are they at, and they have to go find that. Following directions and classroom expectations. Okay, guys, this is finished. It's time to come to the carpet. All of those following simple directions are what you guys are doing at home as well. And when we were both on that same team, when we're both doing those same things and holding that responsibility of our kiddos, we're both going to see an increased benefit of that in the home and in the school setting. It builds confidence in your kids. And it develops problem solving and self-regulation skills. That's a huge piece of it. As adults, we get frustrated all the time, but we have a different self-regulation ability than our kiddos who are 8 and 9. Our brains are more developed. We have the different parts of our brain that they haven't created those connections yet. So we have to teach those steps. All right, here's a few examples. At home, they have a dedicated spot for their backpack and their folder. They practice placing items there every single day. The routine is predictable and consistent. It's not, we just do this on Tuesdays. Every day we're doing this. We're consistent with it. They're learning organization. They're learning following a routine. And they're learning responsibility for personal belongings. You start that at 2, 3, 4, early elementary. As an adult, we do that every single day. You're teaching that skill for a lifelong learner. At school, your child recognizes their classroom entrance routine. They know where to put their backpack and materials. Transitions are smoother and less stressful. And then they feel confident because they know what to do. All right, at home, your kiddo cleans up toys or materials before moving on. You use a consistent phrase like clean up, then we move on. Or, hey, first we do this and then we do that. Your child is learning task completion. They're learning how to follow multi-step directions. And they're learning how to transition between activities. At school, that looks like your child knowing how to clean up before the next activity or lesson. They can transition more easily to the next activity. It's hard leaving, we call preferred, what I want to do, to a non-preferred, what I don't really want to do. It's hard to do that. It's hard as an adult to do that, right? But as we teach it and learn it, it gets easier. They understand expectations without repeated reminders. Do not feel like you have to repeat yourself 10 times. Say it again. And a lot of times then we use an image or a visual or a gesture. If we've talked about putting your cup in the sink, I've said it. I've come over closer to you. I didn't yell it across the house. I came closer to you the next time. And then that third time, I may just point to the cup and be like, ooh. But me saying it 20 times, it's going to frustrate your kid, and it's frustrating you because you're saying it so much. All right. When your child chooses between 2 snacks, clothes, activities, you have choices that are appropriate and limited. Please don't give 10 choices. That's overwhelming to both of you. They're learning that decision-making, they're making ownership of choices, and they're building confidence in expressing their preferences. If you have a toddler right now, they're expressing confidence in their preferences because, man, they wanted that banana cut in half yesterday, and today they want it whole, and you cut it in half, and now they're losing their mind on the floor. And as a parent, you're like, I just cut the banana. It is frustrating. That is why they are cute at that age. But what it also means is that they are creating and they are developing preferences. And that is a huge developmental milestone that your kids are creating. If you have a kiddo that likes a certain type of shorts, is it frustrating that they won't wear the other 3 you purchased? Yes. But it's also you learning their preferences. What are the things that they're wanting and needing? Is it always a choice? No. But that's where it comes into where you've picked 2 choices and they have a choice in it. At school, your child feels comfortable choosing their materials that they need, seeking out help from an adult to get maybe a piece of material they're missing. They participate more confidently in classroom routines, and they're less likely to shut down and resist expectations. All right. Responsibility isn't taught in one lesson. It's built every day, one step at a time, one job at a time. It can be overwhelming to a parent to think of all the things that you have to do every single day. So pick 1 or 2 things right now that you can start with your kiddos to get them helping with you, and even have a conversation with your kiddo. Hey, here's 10 things that we're going to work on over the next few months. Why don't you pick the first two? You guys know your kids best, so you're going to know how you can generalize that with them. But again, maybe it's sweeping, maybe it's vacuuming, maybe it's laundry. You decide as the parent, what are your choices? Limit them down if you need to 2 or 3 things. Okay, which one do you want to do first? Or right now, what is stressing you out the most? Start with that. Start with that, break it down, and have that be the first skill that you guys really work on with your kiddo. If you are having a time every single morning getting your kid to put on their shoes, then that's the first one you do. Then you create a routine for it. You create a location for it. You create the steps, because that's going to help your kiddo and that's going to help you. So picking something like that is really going to help it. But the biggest thing from today I want you to take away from it, we have to teach it. We have to model it. We have to break it down. And we have to teach the steps to build that independence when neither of you are frustrated. An escalated adult cannot calm an escalated child. You have to make sure that you guys are doing this not at a frustration point, but we're doing it at a time where they're both able to learn. So make sure you don't start putting expectations and demands on when you're both frustrated, because that's going to just, it's not going to work. You're both going to be frustrated at that point. So I'm curious to hear what you guys are currently doing in your home. And I'm curious, what is a skill or what is a task you've asked your kiddo to do so many times that you're frustrated and you're not sure maybe what is the skill we're missing to be able to do that task. So I'm going to stop sharing my screen, Ashley. All right, I saw some chat stuff coming in. If you guys want to help me and we can maybe pick a few that we can talk about, or as you guys are out there, if you have things that you have questions about, please go ahead and drop them in that chat. I wanted to make sure we had enough time to discuss real life in your home things that are going on right now. Or if you have a kiddo at a certain age, throw that in there too. If you have a question, I want this to be about you guys and to help you guys at home. And so whatever we can do to kind of back and forth that, I would love to be able to help.
There are quite a few things out in here. Some are just kind of saying, you know, what they have their kiddos do. Somebody said in Scouts, the EDGE method is similar to what you're talking about. The 4 steps of EDGE: explain, demonstrate, guide, and enable. And then she kind of has descriptions of all of them.
Awesome.
Something that they learn in Scouts. Yeah. Some other people said folding clothes and making her bed and blanket. She's 4, going into pre-K.
And that's something at home, if you have a pre-K kiddo at home, if they practice that, yeah, when they're at Anderson in pre-K or in other daycares, you know, throughout the community, but they have their nap mat, they have the pad underneath, and those kids are responsible for, okay, guys, here's your nap mat. They go lay it out. They lay out their blanket. Takes longer beginning of the year. They have to roll it up. They've got to fold up their blanket, but we teach each step of it. So that's huge. I love that. Put water in the refrigerator.
It's one of her chores. She says she's 7, but she doesn't always want to do it. I think she also tagged in down here. The struggle is she doesn't ever look to put water in the refrigerator. Just the other day, I asked her to put it in the refrigerator, and she wanted to use used water bottles around the house. And she said, I end up yelling, and she ends up crying. So
yep,
struggle's real.
Yeah. Well, I think there's one here that says she's 7 and doesn't always want to do it.
Yeah.
Safe place. I'm 38 and I don't always want to do it. So I totally get that. When they don't want to do something that you've asked, think what you're asking them to do. Think if it's something you've taught them before and they know how to do it. Is the task too overwhelming? So not knowing this exact situation, but I'm asking them to put water in the fridge. Am I asking them to fill up a Brita filter? Am I asking them to load the water bottles in the refrigerator? Or am I just asking them to go take their cup of water or their water bottle and just go put it in the fridge? Each one of those is a completely different skill and a different level of amount of work you have to put into it. And so if you also get a bunch of I'm not gonna say backlash, but if you get a bunch of pushback, okay, this seems really frustrating to you. Would you like help? Help them that time. Help them get past it. Because if I just hold a demand and all you're doing is escalating, it's going to take you a long time to come down. And a lot of times at home, you end up doing it for them. And then they learn, oh, well, if I just get upset like this, someone's going to do it for me anyways. But if I can help you and catch you when you're down here before you get really escalated, you're more likely to do the task with me so that next time you're not going to escalate as quickly because it's not as big of a task in your brain. I love that I see laundry sorting, dishes loading, setting the table, making bed. I'm curious how old your kid is. If they're able to do all that, that's great. If those are some things you're thinking of, dishes, unloading the dishes, silverware. Silverware is a really easy one to start with. It also, sorry, from the pre-K early childhood brain of me, it also is it's sorting. I'm sorting by color. I'm sorting by shape. I'm sorting by forks, spoons, knives, kid forks. Or you're responsible for your cups and plates. Where do your cups go? Where do your bowls go? You unload them and put them in your designated spot. AKA, I really don't want you taking the glass plates out and trying to get on the counter yet. You'll get there, not yet, but here's where your area is to do that first. All right, we got some green staff. Green Elementary, we have students put their weekly activities they have planned on the family fridge calendar. That helps your kiddo and that also helps you. As more and more kids get into different activities, it's, okay, you're here on Tuesday, you have that on Thursday, you also have that on Thursday, oh, we also have that on Thursday. It helps break it down. Getting your 5-year-old boy, and obviously I have 2 boys, I'm hearing this right now. Getting a 5-year-old boy to fold and put laundry away is a real challenge. It's too hard. Everything else he's pretty good with. That's awesome. Okay, so folding and put away laundry, it's too hard. So then I'd want you to think folding it and putting it away in different locations. That's your skill. How can we break it down? It would either be focusing on folding everything and then we work on putting it away, or maybe it's we work on folding our shorts and putting our shorts away. Maybe it's also matching your socks, putting your socks away, or I fold it, you put it away. So those are some ways that you can break it down so it doesn't seem as big and as it's too hard and shutting down. Let's see.
We've got some questions that just popped into the Q&A.
Sure.
How do you adjust these multi-step responsibilities and teach them to ADHD kids?
Visuals. I'll say my son's also ADHD. And it definitely is hard because if you are trying to say things from a long distance away, they're probably not hearing you. And it's not that they're not trying to. If you have a kiddo that you're trying to get something and get information to, go closer to them. Go closer to them, or maybe you just put a little hand on their shoulder and say, hey, it's time to get your backpack and go. Where if I'm at the garage door and I'm yelling at my kiddo, hey, come on, get your backpack, we gotta go. They really may not hear you. Getting a close proximity to your kiddo is gonna make a huge difference. In the schools, what we'll tell our teachers is don't say it from the front of the classroom, closer proximity. An arm's length or 2 arms length away, and then give them the directive that you need them to do. Also keeping yourself calm, not saying I don't ever say it and then yell it because I'm a human. But anytime you can say it in a closer proximity and then asking it for a response back. If they just say, okay, you don't know if they actually heard you. So it may be, okay, bud, hey, we got to get our shoes. We need to get our backpack, and I need you to grab your lunch. I need you to get what? Do you remember what I asked you to get? Your shoes, your backpack, and your what? Mm-hmm. Your lunch. That's right. Okay, great job. Let's go get those 3 things. But having them verbally say back what they need to do will really help you understand they actually heard you. Because we have a lot of kiddos personal kiddo, they'll say, okay, I have no idea if he actually heard me. But I'm like, hey, okay, what? Okay, yes, I'll go put my laundry away. Perfect. Thank you for letting me know you heard me. I may or may not do that with my husband too.
The next one is how to manage older children, comparing to younger siblings doing easier tasks. So it's not fair that my 3-year-old sister gets to do these chores, but I have to do this one type question.
Age and responsibility does differ. And that's a life skill in itself. So with your older kiddo, I really would sit down and have a conversation and say, hey, this is your age. This is what you're able to do. When you were this age, this is what you did. This is how we built it to where you are now. This is how she is helping in the same skill. So if we're doing, we call it trash roundup, right? Tuesday nights, it's trash roundup, get all the trash from the house, get everything out to the curb. The older one pulls the trash can and recycling bins out to the front and does the litter box. Love that he does the litter box now. My younger son goes upstairs and gets all the trash cans from upstairs and brings them down. And then we help dump it into the trash can together to go take it outside. We all are a part of the family community, but we are participating in a way that we can. One thing we just started with our younger one was on Wednesday evenings. Now the younger one takes one of the empty bins back. They're too heavy to do the night before, right? But now they're empty. So now we are working on him helping put them away. We're not there yet. We have to help, or the older one helps him do it too, but we're at least starting it. And that tells my older son, you're not just doing it. We're helping him learn how to do it too. And here's how we can kind of rotate those things. But it is a life skill. Yes, you do have more responsibilities. At this age, you're able to do this. And I know that you're able to do that. But having that conversation with them, I think will definitely be huge.
Looks like some of the other questions are kind of on what you just talked about, the younger, older sibling and how that struggle is. Let me see. Somebody else said 7-year-old boy got him to help me with clothes, getting his clothes on, backpack ready in the morning, clean up after himself, get him to help with laundry, folding, lunchbox. And she said, my friend's losing her mind because her daughter doesn't help, same age.
It's the expectations that you as a parent set in your home. It truly is. And again, I wouldn't want your friend to all of a sudden ask their child to do all that your child's already doing, because that would send their child into overdrive and it would probably cause them to shut down and have behaviors. But like we kind of talked about, here's the 5 things we're going to do. We're going to work on. Let's start with 2 of them. And then in a few weeks, we're going to add the 3rd one. And then by the end of the month, we're going to have all 5 that we're working on. But if we just say, okay, now you're doing all 5, you're going from 0 to 60 and they're going to shut down on you. But if I can break it down and if I can do that, then I'm slowly going to encourage that. That's also why we love to do these Raising Eagles, right? Because you're right. If we can start these things at that younger age, it's not as big of a task when they are 7 or 8. But also, if they're 7 or 8 and we're starting it now, that's great. We're starting it because you're not starting when they're 15. We're starting it now. But pick the task that they can do and break it down. If they're already 7 or 8, them just putting their dirty clothes in the hamper, they can do more than that, right? You can put your dirty clothes in the hamper and you can bring the hamper to the laundry room. Next, maybe you do that and you put the laundry in the actual washer. That's on you when you trust your kiddo to actually put the soap in the washer, or if you just use a pod, totally different. I am not there yet. We just use the dispenser. I'm like, I don't want overflow suds yet. We'll get there. Not yet.
There was another question
that becomes really fun. Oh, sorry.
Oh, no, go ahead.
Yeah, when does that come,
When they start doing laundry, that gets really fun too, because then they do the laundry and then it stays in the laundry. And then it's the whole, well, when you do your laundry, you have to make a plan to take it out.
How many times can you fluff it?
To wash one piece of clothing because that's the outfit you're going to wear the next day. Like, we got to think ahead, thinking forward to college. Like, you can't just say, I'm going to do my laundry today and go to the laundry room. And then every laundry every machine is being used. Like, oh my gosh, it's mind blowing. It's like, oh my gosh, how do we?
And you can't just leave
And
it
my
in the
oldest is
washer.
a boy too, so
And you can't leave it in the washer for 24 hours.
yeah, because it gets
And then just put it in the dryer because it's a whole different.
it's really fun.
Yay. But as an adult, how many times have you had to go to your dryer because you've forgotten and you're like, oh,
I know.
let's fluff that. Let's move it around a little.
Right.
It's good to see we're all in the same boat. I mean, really,
are.
it happens to everybody.
But I love the progression that you've shown everybody of like the things that you can start when they're 2 to 3, what's appropriate when they're, elementary age to middle to high. I feel like if you slowly, gradually add on to the chores, it's not so big of an ask. So
Yes, ma'am. Any other questions that we
Yeah,
have?
there's one more out there. How about when you have tasks to do and they procrastinate until they're told they have to do them now, and then they get upset when they have to do it?
Set a time limit and set an expectation. Some of your kiddos, if you say, hey, I need you to do this right now, you get a little bit of fight or flight because maybe they're in the process of something. Or if you do have someone with ADD or ADHD or someone with autism, stopping something in the middle of a task to do something else is extremely hard. But saying, hey, right now I see that you are playing on your tablet. We're going to go ahead and we're going to set about a 10-minute timer. When that timer goes off, this is what I need you to do. So I'm giving you a warning before a transition. Or if you're involved in something you really like, hey, as soon as you get this last puzzle piece in, it's time to go to baseball. All right, let's see. How can you get that last puzzle piece in? Because you also don't want them taking 20 minutes to put the puzzle piece in because they know they're going to baseball, right? But stay there and help them and coach them through it. But giving a set time limit or giving them a first then, like we talked about. Hey, this is what's happening in 20 minutes. But also, hey, go ahead and pause that for me. I thank you for pausing that so I know that you were hearing me. Here's what I need you to do. Where do you think you are in that? Do you think maybe 5, 7 minutes? 10? Okay, I can do 10. Let's go ahead and set a timer. Sometimes I can't do 10. Sometimes I have to do, hey, right now I've got about 4 or 5 minutes. Which one do you think you need? Internally, I don't care. Truly, I don't. 4 or 5 minutes, that's not a difference to me. But your kid has a choice. They feel like they have more of that control. They're more likely to do it with you. So it's giving them that piece of control, that fail-safe choice. I'm okay with either, but they have a choice. They feel like they have more of that buy-in and control that our kids sometimes are looking for.
Another question popped up. Biggest struggle now is getting them to put away, especially the STEM toys and Legos with the hundreds of pieces. I have a 9, 6, and 5-year-old. Any advice?
Yes, I do. But also, I feel you. We are a Lego family. We are a Lego family for sure. And with a son with ADHD, with all the Legos. The rule in our house is you can have Legos, you can have pieces out because he'll like to take them apart and put different ones together. They can't be on the floor. They have to be on a surface because when they are on the floor, they get everywhere. And then you step on them and they hurt and they break and they get lost. And so they have to be on a surface. Now, if he does want to build something larger and he wants to do it on the floor, that is something that as a family, just ask permission and we talk about it. Even in the schools, we do that with kids too, where we try to do certain things on a table, but also knowing sometimes your creativity is big and you need floor space to do it. We just ask permission. And that's just an expectation that you set in your classroom and in your home. And hey, in order to do this, this is what that's going to look like. Having a designated spot for things, that is a huge piece of it, of this is where that goes. If it doesn't have a home, it gets left out, right? And I'm not saying that as a teacher and as a mom, there's not things that don't have a home, but the more we can have it to where things do have a home, our kids know where they go and they're more likely to put them away. If things don't know where they go, they end up getting left on the floor. And sometimes things are on the floor and then it's, okay, hey, on Saturday, maybe it's Thursday, on Saturday, by lunchtime, we got to clean this up. Okay. I'm not asking you to do it right this second. I'm not asking you to even do it in the next hour. I'm giving you a time of when I need you to do that. If anyone is interested in love and logic, it's kind of that. It's giving you guys some choices and some options within that. Because if I say to someone, hey, I need you to go take the trash out. Some people are like, okay, I will stop everything I am doing and I will go do it. Most people are involved in something and it's hard to stop and go do it. And so if we say, hey, before dinner, could you help me take the trash out? You're more likely to do it because you have some time frame around when I've asked you to do it. Now, if something is super, super stinky or something's leaking, then it's more urgent. And I may say that, hey, this is leaking. Could you stop and help me do this? But now I'm letting you know it's a little more urgent matter. And so giving some fail-safe choices with that does help. But yes, Legos are a fantastic toy. I have them everywhere. We're in a Harry Potter phase, but they're everywhere. And so it's, here's where you can do them. Not in this area, but here's where you can do it. This is a safe place you can have that. And then just setting some parameters on it. Sometimes too many toys is overwhelming. Doing a rotation of things really does help. It also realizes, have you ever gotten like toys out of the attic to like donate? And then all of a sudden your kid's like, I want that. I love that toy. You haven't seen it in 4 years, but now you see it and you want to play with it. If you rotate some of your activities out, or your toys out, or your books out, it's like it's something new. And so then they have something new to engage in. So that may help too. We've had to put some Legos away and then kind of slowly rotate them back out if it is getting too overwhelming. Or I tell them, okay, hey, you got to pick 4 right now. What 4 sets are we going to have out? And let's put the other 4 up on the shelf or up in their buckets and put that away. Same thing in the classroom. Yep, you can absolutely play that. But right now, these are not available, but these are my few that I do have available. Because it gets overwhelming for the kids and for us.
So true, Erin. So true. Okay, I don't see more questions. Do you see any more, Christine?
Nope.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you so much, Erin. This was great. I know that it's always helpful to just hear new strategies on how we can help build independence in our kids. And even if some of the things you already knew, just hearing it again and just kind of restarting like, oh, you know what? I know this, but we're not doing this. So we need to make some adjustments to make these things happen. So we appreciate your time. Thanks for stepping out of your conference to be with us today. Thank you, parents, for tuning in. And we hope to see you at our future Raising Eagles events. Let me put our survey in the chat really quick. Let me share my screen. We do drawings from time to time for different parenting books. The Anxious Generation is one. The Formula is one. It's not on here, but Mindful Parenting is another one. It's become one of my favorites. So we do drawings, like I said, and we will let you know if you are one of the winners. So thank you so much and have a great rest of your day. I'm going to mute myself, but I'll leave that up for a few minutes and then we'll see you guys next time. Bye,
Thank you, Erin.
Bye, guys. Thank you.